Check, one, two. 1, 2, check, mic, check, 1, 2. What's going on, people? Rebel advocates in the building. What's going on? Apologies for yesterday. Unforeseen circumstances, I would say myself. But you know, we're here today on a Monday. A lot of things been going on, innit? We had to even change up our thing. But anyway, I'll bring that in later on. Is there anybody here?
Yo, Zah.
Who's that?
I like Johnny.
Johnny Wagwan.
Yeah, man.
One-sided is this sound. Hold on, sir. Technical difficulties again. Keep talking, old chap.
I'm good, man. That's the weather's changed up now, innit?
Is it?
Yeah. Rain. Cold. How are you anyway? You alright?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm really good.
Good,
So,
that's
you
good.
know, life is life. We're alive, right? We woke up this morning. We're not dead.
That's
You
it.
know what I'm saying?
Breathing,
We're
that's it.
alive, so can't complain, old chap. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
How you doing? You alright?
Yeah, man. I'm alright. I'm good.
All right, wicked. Who else is there?
Yeah, what you saying, bro?
Oh, who's that? Is that Artie?
That's the man himself, man. What's happening, man?
Oh,
You
right,
good?
what's going on? You passing through and thing, yeah?
Yeah, man. Passing through on a Monday, rarity, innit? We never had the Mondays before, but yeah, it's
What's
all good,
going
man.
on?
How you
What you
doing?
do-
I'm good, man. I'm good. Life is life, like you said, innit? Man, still alive, you know.
What you doing here on a Monday, bruv? What's going
Special
on?
appearance, innit, eh?
Where was you? What happened to you? Anyway, don't worry, mate. Don't worry.
Easy, Tiger.
Don't worry.
Yeah, all good, man. All good. How you, man? Good though, yeah.
Can't complain.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. No point complaining. Not many people will listen to you.
Just trying to get the levels up. You guys a bit low there. What's going on? Hold on. I know what it is. Technical difficulties, you know what I mean? There we go. Go on, talk it up
No,
again,
no worries,
guys.
man. No worries, man. Yeah, no, been all good, man. All good, man. Good weekends. Yeah, like Johnny said, slight change in the weather now, a bit of rain. Yesterday was out with the kids. It was my daughter's birthday in a week, so yeah, we went out. Went to Legoland yesterday. Had a bit of a good time. As I said, even the weather couldn't.
Happy
Yeah,
birthday.
my weather couldn't spoil it.
Happy birthday, Artie's daughter.
Cheers, bro. Nice one, man. Yeah.
Happy
Cool. Cheers, gentlemen. Yeah. But yeah, no, all good, man. All good. Can't complain. Like I said, good weekend. And yeah, just got a few busy weeks of work coming up. But yeah, it's what it is, man. Trying to make some extra money, you know them ones.
Mm-hmm.
Because Christmas is just around the corner, chaps.
Oh, yeah.
And then before you know it, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, all good, man. What else was that? Oh no, we won't. We'll leave the footy to the end. A little bit of the roundup. That was a bit of a laugh this weekend, so we'll talk about it after.
Okay, you taking my job now, are you, mate?
Now, there's only one of you, my friend. There's only
You're trying
one.
to take my job. Look at this guy, eh? Look at this guy, eh?
What's that role? What was the old film with Christopher Lambert in? There Can Only Be One. You know the film, teacher, bro.
What
The
film?
Highlander. That was it, innit? The Highlander. Remember that?
You talking about them old them garbage movies, not really.
Them classic.
Them old garbage,
video
poor, in it. You know, video, poor, graphics, in it, poor graphics.
Oh yeah. The Highlander. There Can Only Be One. Christopher
It's
Lambert.
the quickening. It's the quickening.
It's the quickening.
Some joke thing.
In it, yeah, the old VHS joints. Yes, indeed. Oh gosh. Oh dear.
All right, jokes aside, now let's go into the serious things.
Some of them.
Big up Becky Lou. What's going on? Stranger, wagwan.
Big up, big up.
Big up. Big up.
All right, so your man, you guys, I see your best friend has been in the news lately. You guys,
Oh,
old RB's been in the news. Have you heard what's been going on with him?
yeah. But what, it broke? When did it break? Did it break kind of yesterday?
Week,
like,
it was
yeah,
last week.
but it's kind of last couple of days is sort of, you know, like these things that gather momentum, don't they? So what are they saying? That there's been allegations of sexual abuse and sort of poor conduct otherwise. Don't really know what to make of it, really, kind of at the moment. It's still early days, and a lot of the media and stuff, of, you know how it is anyway, they're trying to sell their papers, isn't it, already? So they are basically, they're just putting him out to dry, innit? Basically saying, yeah, you're sort of banging to rights and kind of that sort of thing. But yeah, there's been some sadly serious allegations made against him, which, if they are to be proven true, then I think could be doing a bit of time behind the door, boys.
Do you Well, all right, let's just go into it properly, right? Did any of you guys watch? He used to have a show, right? Years ago. Did you ever watch it, any of you guys?
Yeah, I watched bits of it, and I've been in and out of you know, your podcast. When do you podcast it? Every Thursday online or something?
Forget about the old podcast. Let's try and think early, this person, because the podcast is late, innit? That's when he kind of disappeared from everywhere else and decided to do the podcast, innit? So, like, what about that show? Do you remember the show and what was he like?
Vaguely. I mean, it was Russell Brand, wasn't he? He was very flirtatious with the women, wasn't he, on there? You know, it's kind of one of them ones, wasn't it? A lot of sort of innuendos on there, kind of sexual innuendos on there, kind of stuff like that. But yeah, to be honest, I didn't see much of it. I can't remember when that. Gosh, man, when did he do that show?
Who knows? But it was like the kind of the first time we saw of this guys. What about you, Johnny? Did you ever see the show at all?
Do you know what it is? It's weird that you say that, because I remember the show, but I can't remember what the setup was or nothing, but I remember he did have a show, but I can't remember what the hell used to go on there.
Okay. Okay, cool. I never saw it myself, but you know, I spoke to a few people who used to watch it, and they said it was kind of like that guy. You understand? He was that guy, that kind of. What was it? What was the word they said? They said a specific word: sleazy, sexist creep.
Okay.
Not my words. Yeah, not my words.
Yeah.
That's what they said, and it was like, and I was kind of. I asked them about it, and they said, well, look, if you're gonna look into hang around this guy, well, what do you expect from him? Do you understand? Knowing what type a person he is, you know. But you know what, right? He's looking like a bit like this crazy man hiding in plain sight, innit? It looks a little bit like this, because I mean, he's always been upfront with what he's interested in and what he's like and shit, but
I mean, like, no, I think, like you said, he's very outspoken in terms of how could I put it, sort of with ladies, and like, yeah, exactly, he'd put it on there and say what he does and his preferences and that, and I think he's outspoken for a lot of things as well. But yeah, that's what he did on that show. Little things I can kind of remember. He'd do madness like pay prostitutes and get gay guys to do some stupid shit in a pub toilet. Long time ago. It's like, I think it's like 20 years ago, that show. Long time, you know what I mean? So that's what I might be saying, is that a precursor to his character now, you know what I mean? Although I'm still not ready to hang the guy just yet, you know what I mean? Because these red top tabloids, as I said, because I was talking to my partner earlier on, it's like bad news sells, doesn't it? So anytime something like this breaks, they'll happily throw someone under the bus. And if it's, like I said, found true, then yeah, he needs to get what's coming to him. But yeah, like you said, that show, from what I vaguely can kind of remember, it was a bit left of centre, you know what I mean? Strange in a way. But he's always been that guy, isn't he? Sort of outspoken. Like his other stuff, he's always been outspoken about politics and all them other things there, you know what I mean? And like you said, nowadays he does his kind of podcast and he speaks about whatever now. But going back to those days, yeah, he was outspoken and he, you know what I mean? He clearly, yeah, exactly.
All the type of things
so
that
it did come across like that.
All the type of things that they're not kind of condoning today, right?
Exactly, but like I said, that was probably just over 20 years ago, so he could possibly have got away with it then, didn't it? Or been near borderline with that.
But these people that they're old, innit? They're old charges. They're not new, you know.
No, yeah, exactly. They're the best part of 20 years themselves, some of them, innit?
They're old charges, and what you usually see, I ain't saying yes or no, yeah. I'm just putting the evidence up, and maybe I'll say my opinion afterwards, yeah.
Yeah.
But it all looks the same kind of thing, right? It looks like this person who's sitting on the edge, living on the edge. It just looks like Jimmy Savile. Sorry, I mean, it just looks like Jimmy Savile stuff. He's blatantly out there, does what he does in front of the camera. You understand? So you know, it's like once you know. If you can put yourself back to the times of that show, you might think, yeah, all right. You might not look at it as nothing. You might see it as fresh, new.
Yeah.
Even though it don't make no sense anyway, but you might just look at it as, oh, well, it's different, isn't it? It's a different show, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit like The Word. A little bit like that. You see what I'm saying?
I don't know. The Word was good. I remember the
fresh
Word.
New thing, you think that's, you know what I mean? Like, it's something different, you know? I mean, The Word was clearly something different, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I remember the Word. The Word was good. And it was like bussing. It was like bussing new acts, innit? They weren't crazy with they didn't have no opinions, right? Or did they? Do you remember any of them? It was Paula Yates, innit? Paula Yates.
Terry Christian,
there you go. And I don't remember that. I mean, they used to say shit, but they never said anything like that. They just said it was about bussing new acts, innit?
They'll do mad
bands.
stuff like you remember that stuff they used to do, innit? I'll do anything to get on TV. And the man would like come on, and some man, big fat sweaty man there, and he'd say, "Yeah, you got to lick up his armpit and all them things there." You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. But that's just silly stuff.
No, it's different.
That's just silly stuff, and that's okay. Silly stuff is okay to be on TV to see something like that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is they weren't doing nothing like misogyny or anything like that. They weren't saying shit like that. They kept their opinions to themselves, right? Whatever they thought, except for when I remember when that woman, she. I remember when the man came on, innit? Do you remember the band came on In Excess, and she couldn't help it. She loved him from then, innit?
Oh yeah, Michael. Yes.
Yeah, she loved him from them. She was interviewing him, and she was in fantasy land. You know what I'm saying?
Love at first sight. Trust
me. She was gone. Hey, listen. That'll be the power to have, innit? If you could have that power, innit? Would you, man, take that power if you could just have a woman just disappear in your eyes in 2 seconds? Would you take that power? Sidebar. We're going on here.
Yeah.
Would you take that, Johnny?
Yeah, man.
All right. Anyway, go on. Anyway, so yeah, no, the word was much better. You know what I mean? It was about sharing. I think his stuff was usually about him, innit? It was more about him.
More egotistical, I think, on his side of it, wasn't it? It was, like I said, the Word was more of a sort of a bit out there show, but it was lots of stuff going on. Like you said, they had music and bands coming on their live music, whereas his thing, from what I can remember, was a bit like out there. There was a lot of, like I said, sexual innuendos, kind of references, people doing stupid stuff in toy. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was stupid from then. But yeah.
And what about there was a documentary already, Dispatches, isn't it? It's already been out there already.
Was it done today?
It was on
out
Saturday.
today?
It was done on Saturday, even quicker.
That's crazy.
You know what? That doesn't say crazy. You know what that says to me? That says this shit has been here from time. And you know, with all these, I'm not saying he done it or anything, but the pattern is always there. Yeah. So when you got a bit of cash, yeah, you got a bit of cash, and then you can delay these things. Yeah, you can delay these
100%.
people's
Yeah, of
judgments
course.
or these court cases or whatever. You can just delay them as long as possible. And for a friend of mine spoke to me and said, yeah, if dispatches has got hold of it, then it's a serious thing, and it's been done for like long time. Do you know what I mean? So there's usually something out there. You know what I mean?
Yes, so that would be interesting. I'll have to catch that one out. I said I didn't even know. I knew they were doing one, but I didn't know it was put through already.
Yeah, mate. I think it's on the old one of them replay places. You can have a look at it.
All 4 or whatever. Yeah, that's a must-watch then. Have a look at that situation, because see what they're exposing that and what evidence they have, and yeah, and I suppose watch that space to see if it sort of kind of materializes into something. It's going to run for a bit now anyway, isn't it? A good bit. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Just like I said, it's hard to see. But like I said, if you look at certain behaviour maybe from the past and you bring that forward into now, I can understand why people would come to a certain conclusion. I'm a bit similar to yourself, teacher. I'm going to wait and see for things to happen first. And if he is proven that he's done some nonsense, then yeah, he should face his punishment. You know what I mean? We'll see if he will, though. That's another story, isn't it?
What do you think? What do you think about that, old Johnny? What do you think?
The man just always seemed a bit weird to me. I don't like the way he dresses and acts and look. That's a bit weird shit, isn't it? From when he all got married to that what's that singer he got married to again, man?
Katy Perry.
Yeah. That even that was a bit all mad, isn't it? Like where you just look at the two characters and think they didn't look like they. To me, they didn't look like they matched anyway, and obviously. I've been like just his sleazy ways and the way he acts and dresses, and I don't know, innit? He just seems a bit weird to me. But it's like what you lot said, innit? It must have been brewing for a little bit, because I remember, I think I heard about it on Saturday morning on the news, and then obviously the dispatches thing came out Saturday night, innit? So it's like what you lot said. It must have been under wraps for some time for this thing to be coming out like this. So yeah, it's a bit crazy still, but yeah, to me he's just I just always seen him as a weird guy, isn't it?
It is interesting, like I said. Just we have to kind of watch this space and wait and see, really, and see what happens.
Well, anyway, let's have a look at. Yeah, this is from 2006 to 2013, right? There's multiple women accusing him of sexual assault and abusive behavior. You understand? And one woman was 16. Yeah, he met when he was 16. She was 16, and he called her the child. And another woman said that he raped her in his house in LA in 2012. And she visited a rape crisis center.
Yeah.
After this one.
Okay.
It was text to her. She published the text. Do you understand? Where he said he apologized.
Okay. Because I was even hearing that he said that he'd offered someone to Saville, mate. They said.
Well, you see, so listen. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. You got this man, right? Who's freedom with his speech. Yeah. And bit strange, as Johnny said, which I agree, because he's come on, let's have it right. He's a bit of a weird guy. You understand? But then look, when these people are saying these things, now they said it. Let's take all these things, right? Look at the footballers. Look at the Mendy. Yeah, look at Greenwood. Yeah, these are the same things, right? These are the same things that's happened. So we should expect the same thing that happens to them should happen to this guy. No, they should be taken away. Look at what happened to Mendy. He was inside behind the door for how long? Long time, innit?
Yeah,
potentially fucking up his career. And this is the same thing. I know. But look, they took them and boom, condemned, and then they're okay. Actually, they didn't do it. Yeah. So what's the difference? Why is it this? Why shouldn't he be dragged off? Shouldn't he be dragged off and taken behind the door, and then let's see what's going on?
It's the same with Westwood, isn't it? He's not facing nothing, so it's like what you're saying, isn't it? You had them lot that face all this scrutiny in the media, then you got like Westwood, and this guy is like, the facts are out there, the evidence is out there, but they're just, they're getting to walk around free and just, I don't, it's all mad. It's just blatantly in your face, isn't it?
No, I think he will face that in soon, innit? Especially after this kind of after the dispatches and all the stuff. I think they need to be sort of bringing things kind of quickly, kind of together. Because, like you said, if you get other people, I mean, obviously Mendy was found not guilty, but the time he spent in prison and the loss of earnings and the loss of a career, really. I mean, he's playing back in France now, but still. As far as I know, he wasn't given any compensation, which he should be due that, because obviously he was proven not guilty. They need to be dealing with things quickly. But will they is another question, isn't it? You know what I mean? We've seen this in other situations. Things aren't dealt with quickly, and when they're not dealt with quickly, that leads to further things happening over a prolonged period of time. You know what I mean?
100%. What did we was talking about this earlier, weren't we, Johnny? And what did we say? We was talking about this the Mason thing. Do you remember?
Yes.
And go on.
Do you want me to go into that one now?
No, just go into that Mason part. Do you remember the Mason part and your mate calling out the letters?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because he go on, because you know what, he's over there with his wife. You know that, the same woman that accused him, Mason Greenwood. Yeah, he's over there with that same woman over there. She's out there wearing the Getafe top on. You know that, innit?
And she's pregnant as well, isn't it?
That's right. So if she's like forgiving him, why can't everyone else? Do you know what I mean? What do you think about that?
I hear that still.
I don't know about forgive him. I mean, he's young and he was wrong what he said, and his behaviour was wrong. He can learn, innit? I mean, we all can learn. I personally think he's lucky. He's lucky for how he behaved and what he said, that he didn't face any time behind the door. He's got another club now, but the thing that you guys said, she's out there with him now, so
then there's no, to me in my mind, if she's out there with him, then there's no nothing. If she forgive him, everybody else should forgive him, yeah, because she's the worst one feeling anything. We ain't feeling nothing of what he done to her or whatever, you understand? We ain't feeling that. So if she's forgive him, why can't we?
Well, I don't know about forgive him. I think it's behaviour, innit? I think us as parents, if that was our daughter and he was speaking like that on our daughter and it's clearly been caught on audio, there's no lying about what he said. He was basically telling that lady that he can have sex with her whenever he wants. at any given time, and she can't do nothing about it. Is she forgiven him? Maybe. But more for her, innit, from my perspective, and her old man, which I think, because they knew that he had some dollar, that was it, because I don't see how. But I said I expect if what's his name, if Russell is found guilty of the same thing, then yeah, his career should be in tatters, you know what I'm saying? Because if you behave like that, you know, I'm not sure.
But to me, I don't think Russell. I don't reckon nothing much is. I don't reckon he's gonna face nothing. They said on, was it? I think Saturday night, the same night the Dispatches thing came up.
Yeah.
He had a show.
Yeah.
And obviously he's got his following, and the crowd was all applauding him and stuff like that. And it's like, I just look at it and think, it's the same thing with the Westwood thing. It's like, what's gonna come off it? You don't get me. All they did was they took him off radio.
Yeah.
They blackballed him, so he can't do nothing like no more. That's it now. It's like, get me. They were all. I think they said something that because there was the charges or something, or because the women, they're saying the women with Westwood, they never did go to the police or something. That there's nothing they can really do. But I'm not sure. In Russell's case, if they did they go to the police or what?
Well, they said the police are investigating it now, aren't they? They're investigating, like what teacher was saying, the allegations by these certain kind of individuals, and then, but like I said, it depends how long this process takes, and are they going to do it swiftly? Because with Mendy, as soon as these sort of accusations went, and they said, "Oh, this," well, how many women was it? I can't remember, 6 or 8 for Mendy. They soon put him on remand. You know what I mean? There was no messing around with that guy. He was on remand. He was banged to rights, and he was perceived as guilty, innit, by many people, Mendy. And then obviously when it came out, he was not guilty. I think a lot of people might have had to eat a bit of humble pie. But then, like I said, with Russell now, yeah, they need to speed things up quickly, or that's when people are going to look in and saying, well, why is it taking so long? Okay, get your statements off these, say how many women it was. Could be 3, could be 4, could be 5. It could go into bigger numbers, isn't it? But they need to speed up the process kind of quickly and obviously do their work as well. But if they're going to charge him quickly, bruv. With the Westwood thing, I saw the programme, innit? Did you see the programme about it, Johnny?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On iPlayer. And I listened to Westwood, the same as teacher, for about, good 30-odd years now. And again, with Timmy, he always come across a little bit like that slimy as well, you know what I mean? It's like whenever there were phone-ins and there was ladies phoning in, you know, you had groups on there back in the day, he would try to come across, you know what I mean? He'll try to, again, use his power. Not quite sure. I think the same thing that you said there, innit, did that. I don't think they wanted to go forward and press too many charges, but then they did their formal kind of investigation into him, and nothing's really come out of it. Although they could stop him from being on the radio, his time's dead now anyway. He's been on the radio for 40 years now. So it's not like a kick in the teeth. Exactly, John. It's not a kick in the teeth for Westwood because he's had his time, that, you know what I mean, coming to a point. So him, if he's banned off major radio for how many years, it don't matter. But I'm sure I heard him on the radio not too long ago on playing some nonsense recently.
But my whole thing is is his thing just dead in the water like that? What is there no, is he not gonna have to?
No, I don't think so, John. With the Westwood, because remember they come out, was it a week or 2 ago? They said, yeah, he's not going to face sort of criminal prosecution for it. Obviously, the radio station and stuff, yeah, they're going to lock him down off that, but it doesn't matter now, innit? You know, I mean, he could have been, he could have been behaving like a scumbag for decades. Probably has been, arguably, but because of his face kind of within the music industry and obviously within the BBC and Radio 1 as well, they're reluctant to charge these men and put them on blast because they're earning their money, innit?
Same things that happen with Russell, man. I can see it already. Same.
That's the thing, innit? It's the money and the power, John.
Same sort of scenario, because it's like me and teacher was talking earlier on, and I remember we did speak, and it's like, when you've got this, when you're in the public limelight and you have all this money, they just keep delaying it, and then they'll just release something and be like, yeah, we're not going to charge, he's not going to get charged, there's not enough evidence, and I can see what's going to happen. And then obviously, because he's got his fan following, it's like, you get me? Because like they did say, he had a performance Saturday night, and the fans were applauding him, and he was there, taking bows on stage.
Yeah,
he's just making it right now, isn't it?
But that's where people get too blinded, Johnny, isn't it? They get too blinded, because I used to listen to a couple of his podcasts, and some of the stuff he spoke about did kind of resonate with me. But if you find out that the geezer's a scumbag, he's a scumbag. It doesn't matter if he said a couple of things that you found sort of kind of resonated with your thought process or something like that. That's irrelevant, isn't it? If it turns out that he's been doing all them shady stuff for two odd decades, then there's no more for you. You know what I mean? They say, no, I have to lock that man off because you found out that he was a real scumbag then anyway. So you have to lock that down. But some people sadly are slavishly blind to anything, innit? And it doesn't matter what anybody does. If they say something that they like, they'll hold on to that, and they'll deflect any other negativity around that person, you know? Which is wrong, but that's how some people are, and they're just blinded, isn't it?
So what? Is he cancelled right now, or is he still doing his normal?
I read his show's been cancelled for a minute still. It's been cancelled for a minute still, they're saying now online. But as you said, how long is this going to rumble on for? Are they going to get through stuff quickly and charge a guy and bring him to justice if that's the case, or if they're just allegations then?
Well, I think they got the whole process where they're going to have to probably interview him, interview the women. That's if they even charge him, you get it?
Exactly. We'll see what happens, innit?
State he might not even get interviewed. They might just say that, all right, there's nothing really to go off on this thing, so we're going to let it go and get me in this. I don't see nothing. I don't see him doing no time or no court case or anything. The most they'll probably, and can they really just ban him from doing TV and all that? Because
yeah, they can lock down his stuff, I suppose, but we'll see anyway. You know, watch this space. Hopefully, like I said, from our point of view, if he's done the thing, then he's got to face the consequences of his actions. If he hasn't, like I said, obviously the same with the Mendy thing. A lot of people in society had Mendy banged to rights. Not saying you, John, or Teach, but a lot of people had him banged to rights. They're like, nah, he's done it. It's 6, 8 women here, 9 women here. He's done it.
Look.
But
let's just talk about that one. Let's just actually talk about that one, because I'm seeing something here, a pattern here. Yeah, there's a pattern that's going on here. It seems like, you know, these guys can get away with it. Soon, Mendy and all these, and Greenwood, and any other guy like that, yeah, boom, straight, you know, prison, behind the door, loss of earning. They're jumping on you. They don't want you to make a living. They want you to do all these things. Now, with this guy, why should he not get the same procedure? Why should they do the same thing like that? What they done with Jimmy Saville? You understand? Because everybody knew about that Jimmy Saville stuff. All the police. Hold on, sir. The police knew everything about it, and still they didn't do nothing. And it was still on the front the TV. You understand? It was still on the front of the TV. Still, they're doing this thing. Now, I ain't saying this guy done it, but you know what? I saying same procedure for everybody. Yeah. If these guys, footballers, guys, what is it? Special procedure for footballers? That just because you're a footballer, you got to go to prison before or get condemned and move to another country. And still people trying to fuck that shit up for you as well. You understand? I don't understand why this person isn't taken behind the door, and then you can do all the research. You know, Johnny, yeah, you know the thing of Johnny. When they snatch you up, there's no room to do nothing, innit?
No.
There's no room to do nothing. You can't go and talk to your people to try and twist up the people, or try and go and talk to that person and tell them, yo, change up your story potentially. You can't do nothing if you're behind the door. So why is he not behind the door? Not saying that he's guilty on anything, but let's just treat everybody the same then, innit? Because if it isn't like that, then them Mendy and them other guys, they shouldn't have been taken away.
I agree.
They shouldn't have been taken away or anything like that. They should have been left and until they go to court and blah 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 blah. You understand?
Of course, agreed. No, I agree with you. I think in this country, because we're not America, so the burden of proof here is to prove guilt. So you're judged not guilty until they can prove otherwise. So yeah, Mendy, Greenwood, whoever.
They were guilty, and they were no, they weren't guilty, but everybody said they were guilty. Everybody said, listen, remember they had the woman, the letter woman. The letter woman, that's what we're gonna call her, yeah? The letter woman was coming down there saying, I'm not gonna back that team if you keep him in there. Well, look, he's still affiliated to the team, isn't he? He's still affiliated to the team. But you know what? Is she not jumping out when with this man?
Anthony.
We can't say nothing. Yeah, we didn't hear her talk anything about Anthony. We didn't hear her talk anything about old Gibbs.
Yeah.
We didn't hear nothing about that, did it? So what's going on? Is it a certain type of people get freedom of speech? You can't tell nobody nothing. But once it's a different thing, no, let's jump on them. We're not having that behaviour. Go on.
No, I agree with you. Everyone should be treated the same, no matter what colour, in it, black or white. We know this already. Sadly, there are different sets of boundaries for different people. Shouldn't be that way, but it's like that way, isn't it? You know what I mean? Everybody should be treated the same. But yeah, sadly, it's not. You know what I mean? Sadly, it's not, mate. But yeah, with him, let's just wait and see how this whole thing plays out. You know what I mean? But I will catch up with that dispatches one because that could give you sort of greater insight into the whole thing. You know what I mean?
But it's I get where teachers coming from because it is annoying as well because, like you're saying, with the Greenwood scenario, the letters woman was all over it. She was all threatening not to follow the team, not to put no money into Man United. She's all this and that if he plays for them again. Like, she's all making threats, and then the women's teams all like, they didn't really say much. They were just like, they don't feel comfortable playing for the same team as my man. And it's like, now you see the Anthony scenario. I haven't heard nothing from her. It's like someone's zipped her mouth closed. She's not come out with that same energy where the facts are out there. The woman took a picture of her boss head where it said my man did headbutt her in the hotel room, and she's done an interview over in Brazil, and but the woman's quiet now, isn't it? She's not saying, "Oh, if my man plays for the team again, I'm gonna support them." The energy's just different now, and it's like, as soon as that happened to Greenwood, they took him out of the team straight away. They're like, "Nope, you're not playing. You're on gardening leave right now." With Anthony now, it's like they said he made the decision to step down for a little bit and get himself right and stuff. But it's a different energy. It's a different energy, innit? It ain't assault. It's saying, get me. My man's Anthony's done a madness, but it's not proven if he's done it or not. But why is he not, like, why is it not the same treatment where the teams come out and said, well, why is the public not the same energy? It's just, get me. But when it was Greenwood now, he can't be seen playing for Man United again. He can't get me in this. But as soon as it's Anthony now, it's like everyone's questioning: did he do it? Did he not do it? Did he do it?
But I think, John, you hit the nail on the head there, because with all due respect, with the Greenwood thing, mate, it's out there. It's out there. There's no denying it. It's out there. With my man's thing now, they might have took the picture of the headbutt, but you don't know for sure. With Greenwood, we know for sure what he said. Everyone knows for sure. He's banged to rights.
Yes, all right, fair enough. Yeah, we understand that. We do. We knew, we heard, and we heard what he said. But watch here. We don't know their relationship, and I'm not condoning none of that behavior, but we don't know their relationship. We don't know if their relationship is a volatile relationship. And what I do know is, we all been in relationships, right? And we've all said some shit that we didn't want to say, yeah? We're not saying that we've done anything on them levels, yeah? I'm just saying.
No, clearly
but
not.
The fact, listen, each to their own, though. That's what you're not getting. It's each to their own. What is
exactly. So my own point of view
hold on, sir. What I'm saying is, each to their own. What they do within their relationship, to me and you looking on there, is fucking extreme. But to them, they might look at us and say, well, you guys are whatever. But the fact is, it's each to their own. That might be normal for their relationship. The fact is, it clearly is. Because if that's how, if that was, everybody looked on that and heard all that stuff and thought it was really bad. Well, look, they got a fucking kid together and they're all happy as Larry.
So they say, man. So they say, innit? So they say.
No.
So they say.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And
I don't know the relationship.
100%, and that's what I was gonna say. Until we know, none of us know what is really inside their relationship. But so we only can take from what we see in it.
Okay, but all right. Can I make a point now? If that was your child involved in that relationship, how would you personally feel?
That's got nothing to do with it, because that is how I think. Like I said, how we deal with things is not the same they do with things. But who says they're not happy in their volatile relationship? Who says that? Who says they're not happy?
You said earlier on, why can't we kind of forgive them? Because we're all different and we all see things differently. So I see that behaviour is has tapped up behaviour. That's not norm behaviour. I'm
not saying it's normal. I'm saying it is their behaviour, and it's not the same as our behaviour. Yes. But that's just there. Listen, you're talking like everybody is normal around there. No, everybody is not normal.
I'm talking only from my perspective, mate. If other people see that as fine or cool, that's okay with them. From my own point of view, you asked me what I thought about it. I think the behaviour is disgusting. That's how I see it.
Yes, I know. Clearly, you keep saying that. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, but the fact is, that doesn't mean it is what it is. That's where I go back to saying what I said, which you quoted me on, and saying, well, look, if they forgive each other, then why shouldn't we? We don't know what's inside their relationship. We're not condoning none of that behavior, yeah? But the fact
I said if they forgive each other, that's up to them. If I see that behavior, I don't have to say, that's all good. Like, that's decent behavior. I've got my own opinion on it, and if I see that as madness, I see it as madness. If they're happy to live that life, then so be it, go forward in that relationship. That's cool. But I don't see that as right, you know what I mean? As normal for someone to talk to a woman like that in a bedroom, basically demanding sex of her. That's what he was doing.
We know, and you keep telling us. Tell us again, in case we missed it. We got it, my friend.
No, I'm not telling you again. I'm just making a point, mate.
No, I hear you, and you've made your point clearly. I've got your point, yeah? I've got your point, but the fact is, that is just them. I've been in relationships where I've said things that I didn't say anything on them levels, but I've said things that I don't wish I could have took back. And if you're being normal, surely you've done it as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So then the fact is this, yeah. Just because your level is less than theirs, that doesn't make it any better. I'm just saying they're on some different level. You're not on that level. Okay. You don't understand it. Neither do I. Yeah, I don't understand that level. But you definitely
I don't want to understand it, mate.
It's not about wanting to understand it. It's about you just don't understand it. Yeah, I don't understand it. So I'm not saying that I know. I don't know. But the fact is, I can only sit and say, well, look, if they're sitting there and they're going to try again, who am I to turn around and say nothing? If it was my daughter, yes, it's a different something. But it's not my daughter, is it? It's not your daughter, is it? It's a different.
We've got a difference of opinion. It is what it is, mate.
Hello, there's nothing wrong with the difference. I'm just saying, sitting on the other side, I don't know, so I can't sit down and say yes, definitely no. Lock him up and throw away the key. No, because I don't know how many relationships you've been in, yeah. But the fact is, yeah, not every relationship is always nice and rosy. Yeah, there's some relationships where it gets all a bit violent, yeah, potentially in arguments, right, Johnny?
Toxic.
Yeah, it's not all relationships are nice, you know, and sometimes they're all nasty like that, and they're okay with it, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, big up listener for putting your things in. Listener says he's got a god complex. What do you think? Do you think he's got a god complex, Russell or RB?
He's got a big ego, yeah, definitely.
What do you think, Johnny?
Yeah, man, most definite, man. He's one of them guys where he just thinks his shit doesn't stink, in it, like where he's just, yeah, he's one of them guys, isn't it? He's just, yeah, that type of easy guys.
Well, anyway, seeing as we're talking about the old these old fucking Saville type people, why don't we go on to the Saville while we're here?
Talk about the one and only, innit? Jesus Christ. Yeah, they're bringing out another. Well, actually, this one's like it's about his life. It's played by what's his name, Steve Coogan. I don't know if you know Steve Coogan. You know that he played the stupid guy. Was that Alan Partridge? Stupid shit. He played that. But it's funny, John. I was talking to Teacher about this as well. Like, this is a guy again. When you're talking, you went back to kind of bit about kind of Westwood and stuff. Well, you know, I mean, this guy is he's the creme de la creme of the sort of creepy guys, weren't he? You know what I mean? And how many people? I think they said between 400 and 1,000 allegations were made against him over 60, 70 years. You know, from he was a DJ in the 50s and a wrestler. Apparently, he was a wrestler as well. Going way back up to, you know, the old Top of the Pop days and the Gym Will Fix It and all that lot. But I don't know what you guys feel about it, but like I think they've made 10 different programs. I think Louis Theroux done 3. They've done 1. There's been another film made about him, and they just keep on sort of showing these shows all the time about him. And this new one now was supposed to come out 3 years ago, but they shelved it in 2021, a bit to do with COVID. And then they shelved it even recently because of the King's coronation, because he had such a close relationship with Prince Charles. Him and him were on sort of first letter terms, and, you know, I mean, talking about a lot of different stuff. But I don't know what you guys think is, why are they going to keep just pushing out these shows kind of all the time? The guy's dead now. We know he done a whole set of fuckery, you know what I mean, for decades. He didn't reach his comeuppance because obviously the BBC covered up for him. That's the long and short of it. They covered up for him, and the police covered up for him as well. And once again, as we spoke about the Met Police and other police forces and the BBC as an institution, they cover for these guys. They let them do their nonsense. If you've ever seen an old episode of Top of the Pops, Teacher or John, I know it's way back when, but I think you can't see any with him on that because they took them all out, you know. I mean, they've edited them all off of the production shelf. So any ones you see now will be with some other DJ, I don't know, like Dave D. Travis or someone, you know what I mean? So you can't even see anything with him on there. But my point I'm trying to make is why do they keep on sort of regurgitating these shows? And what is it in us as humans? I don't know about you guys, but sadly enough, yeah, why do we want to watch these shows sometimes? Because I actually want to watch it. What ticks our kind of boxes to watch these sort of serial killer shows, these true crime stuff, these crimes about these horrific people, but still there's a large part of the human psyche that wants to watch them, guys.
Go on,
I mean,
Johnny.
what do you boys think about it? I'm not saying you personally want to watch that one, John, but like, you know, these shows about the true crime stuff that's big now, and the Jeffrey Dahmers, the Ted Bundys, all these horrible, excuse my French, bastards that have done some of the worst stuff. Is there that part of sort of moral sort of classification for us to watch it and say, oh, well, fucking hell, I thought I had, you know what I mean? But you see these guys, and I don't know, because there's that part of us that want to watch a lot of these shows, or I quite like watching them. Maybe like is the wrong word. I'm intrigued by them, you know what I mean?
So why did you watch it?
Just because the intrigued nature of it, you know what I mean?
What intrigued you?
To see if they're going to come up with anything new on there, and to see if they're going to bring up stuff on there, because they're saying on this new one now they're actually using they took evidence from kind of witnesses over the years and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I just find them intriguing. It's hard to explain, like, and that's why I want to try to get you guys back to see kind of how you guys feel about these shows and why kind of do we watch them? Because you can't sit back and say, "Oh, I really enjoyed watching that show about, I don't know."
No, 100%. I get what you're saying. So what? All right, look, have you seen the thingy? Have you seen the Louis Theroux around the Saville stuff?
No.
I saw the two major ones, you know. I didn't see the roundup one where he was going back into it and looking back. I've seen clips of it when he was looking back into it and saying,
"Okay,
you know what I mean?"
Okay, did you see it, Johnny?
No.
None of them, no.
I've only seen one of the first original ones. I think one of them BBC ones when it first come out, where the people that were involved were basically saying they reported him years back, and I'd seen one of the first original ones when he died, and then all these documentaries came out. I only watched one of them. After that, I just stopped watching. I've seen it once. You know what? We've heard what he's about. We've seen all the evidence. I watched it once. I'm not really intrigued to watch it.
No, totally. But all right, so look, on them ones, yeah, he was. Let's just take that Louis Theroux for example, right? He was, you know, they were filming, they edited it, and then then he made another one. He made one, and he made another one, and then in the second, in the other one, yeah, in the other one he made, there was stuff that they didn't show that was in the first one. Do you understand, Johnny?
Yeah.
Do you get that, Johnny?
Oh.
Yeah. So there was stuff. You saw it, innit, Artie? You saw it, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, let me explain this to Johnny now, yeah?
Yeah.
So you saw, so in the first one they showed stuff and edited it. So then in the second one they showed stuff that they didn't edit from, right? And in the second one that they showed, it was clear to see that the guy was one of these guys, you understand? You know, then there's one part that stands out for me is when he was talking to a fan. It was a fan, a woman, and it was the woman was with her daughter, yeah. And you want to see the way the man was hugging this girl, you know, like you would hug this woman like your partnership, you understand, like your partner. Sure. You was hugging this woman like this was your girlfriend, this little girl, yeah. It was a little girl that he was hugging, a young teenager, you understand. This man's a big old dirty man, you know. And so it was clear, and I don't understand why it took them 2 episodes to sit down and decide to do something. You know, these people, it's a corrupt thing, this thing, and it's nasty. Go on.
Well, no, that's the corruption you're talking about, because he was the face of the BBC, weren't he? And he was bringing them in a whole heap of money. He used to do all the fundraising kind of nonsense. You know, he raised X amount of millions. But I think the thing was he raised those money to basically, bad, like to get sort of the keys to certain hospitals and to get into places, and he made himself famous by doing all that stuff. And it was almost like a double life sort of thing. You know, he would do the marathons. He ran from one side of the country to the other, raising money for charity for cancer research. But yet on the flip side of that, he gave himself a job as what was the title he gave himself? He was a voluntary porter. He was a voluntary porter at the 2 hospitals. There was one for mentally ill children, and then there was another one, the Stoke Mandeville one. And he gave himself a role of sort of a voluntary porter, you know. And you don't need to know what happened kind of with that role. But I think it's because he was such a big name for them. And like we spoke about, arguably he was white. That's another reason why he wasn't prosecuted. And then like even Johnny said, all these allegations come up just in 2012, year after he died, you know what I mean? But they didn't come up then. They'd been spoken about. The first allegation was made, I think they said in 1963 or 64. So this was like 50 years of people making allegations against him that were just poo-pooed. They were shot down by the police. He had the police in his pocket. It was well known, you know what I mean? Sadly, like kind of so many others. And yes, massive corruption. And it's because he was the face as well, innit, of the Beeb, and they had him on that Jim Will Fix It. He would get, 20 million viewers a week. But the shady stuff behind that never really come out. But like Teacher said, there are little things you see. Like they showed a clip on that one, on the Netflix one, when he was on top of the pops. And you know, at the end of it, Teacher, when they've got like, they're standing at the end and they're saying, okay, it's goodbye for now. There's like 3 or 4 women around him. He's just grabbing up the women from behind, you know what I mean? And you can see her just twisting and moving and contorting, trying to get away from the brother, you know what I mean? So like you said, it was so blatantly obvious. But yeah, he avoided any form of punishment, innit? And on his gravestone, he wrote, "It was good while it lasts." That's what he put on his tombstone. It was good while it lasts, and he had to go and bun it down, innit? The people bun it down, innit? They broke up his thing, innit? They broke up his tombstone. The police let him do it, apparently. You know what I mean? They took it down and kind of whatever. But still, to put that on there, that's a level of arrogance. It was good while it lasted. So what was good while it lasted? You know what I mean? But yeah, like Teacher said, it's all about, sadly, the corruption, isn't it? And all we want is people to get done for the crimes they do. So if it's Russell Brand or Jimmy Saville, it doesn't matter. Or Bernard Mendy, for example, you all do the same thing. You all get the same sentence and you go behind the door if you've done that nonsense, you know. But sadly, you don't see it, you know what I mean? And like you guys alluded to earlier on, again, it could come down to a bit of race thing, isn't it? Because these guys, whether they're guilty or not guilty, kind of initially, they're treated totally different. You know what I mean? These men are just kind of investigated, or you get a big documentary with this guy and you get, what's his name? You know, Luther asked him that time, he said, "Are you a paedophile?" He said, "I might be," he said.
Who?
That's what he said on the thing, man. He said, "I might be." You know what I mean? He said, "I don't really know," he said.
So this is what I say, yeah. Look how many people saw that, right? And saw all this other stuff before this documentary. You, both of you guys, yeah. No response needed, yeah. Both of you guys. Look at all of this stuff before, and look how nobody didn't say nothing. Yeah, all right. We got all the reports of everything, yeah. We got that. You know, look at these footballers. Let's take Mason Greenwood for example. Yeah, the one little thing that big thing. Yeah, the one big thing that happened. Yeah, and they want to cut him. They want to kill him. Look at this guy. He done all these little things.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, sir. Hold on. How many? You said about 200-300.
Oh, they said easy 400. It could be more.
All right. So look, 200-300 is enough. Is enough for everyone to say, well, I don't think this is questionable. You understand? All them things there, one little thing, 300, 200, 400. Nobody ain't saying nothing too much, innit? Nobody didn't say nothing.
Of course not.
Disgusting. Is the problem these guys, or is it the problem we society determines to judge this person or that person higher or less? You understand? What do you think, Johnny?
I reckon it's more the what do you call it? It's more the institution that you're in, innit? Because with this Jimmy guy, it's like it's like what Artie said. He's more. He was put on that pedestal, innit, where he could do nothing wrong. Everything he did was like, they deemed he was all these fundraisers, and he had the keys to the city, basically, innit? And it's like, they determined, when all these stories came out, they were determined he's not, like, he hasn't done these things, innit? It's them determined, like, he hasn't done anything wrong, innit? They didn't believe the story, or even if they believed the stories that were coming out. What I believe is that all these stories were coming out about him, but it's like they were just rubbishing them, innit? Like, basically, like, yeah, throw that in the bin, throw that in the bin, throw that in the bin. We can't get me, and it's just, it's more the institution, like I said, that you're in, where they come to a conclusion if you're guilty or not, innit? And if they decide not to ride with you, then they'll put you to the sword, innit? But if they don't, go on.
No, sorry. All right. I see what you're saying. So what you're saying, if they back you, then if the institution backs you, then you're okay. If they don't back you, then you're not okay. Yeah, feed them to the wolves. Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Listen, sorry. Listen, people in the chat. Yeah, people in the chat. What do you think about that? Can you comment about that? Is it fair? Is it about like the footballers getting taken to prison straight away, and then they go through the process whether they're innocent or guilty? Shouldn't it be the same for this guy? Can we have the people in the chat about that, please? All right, go on, Artie.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm in agreement in terms of John, in terms of that part of the Saville. Like I said, he was the BBC in it, so it was in wrongfully so, because they should have banged him away back when who was the guy? Oh, Johnny Rotten, when he spoke out about him in the 70s and he got silenced on Newsnight. He spoke about it and then called him a nonce then blatantly. But the institution, they let him do, innit? Like Johnny said, he had the keys. He had the keys to the palace, mate. He had the keys to the palace. He went everywhere. He done everything he wanted to do. Like it was a hidden rule. Like, so many people made complaints and allegations. The police just binned them all the time. You know what I mean? And it's because who he was and the amount of money that he was making them. You know what I mean? And he had high-profile friends in the royal family, all over, who would vouch for him. You know what I mean? And just say, no, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. No, these allegations are nonsense. You know, he should have been, we all know he should have been thrown the book at donkeys years ago, you know what I mean? And sadly, he didn't, and he got away with them all because of who he is, and he abused his power, and because he was this, like I said, this sort of double-edged guy, wasn't it? This fundraiser / happy-go-lucky guy, now then smoking the big cigars, you know what I mean? And then, like you even spoke about Mason Greenwood, didn't he? He had this sort of perceived image. And because, yes, he did do one thing, but he was banged to rights with that. And that's only one thing. I agree with what you're saying, whereas this man's done hundreds and was never brought to court on any of them. And even when he was asked about them, he blatantly basically said he is. And he still wasn't brought to court on it.
So listen. We got a thingy here from Lamshank over here. Big up Lamshank for your comments, yeah. Lamshank said it was different, yeah? It's different. Is it different between the Russell and the footballers? What do you guys think? You think it's different between Russell and the footballers?
No, I don't think so. I think if he's abusing his power and he's raping and abusing women, then no, it's the same thing, isn't it? It's 100% the same. He's in a position of power. If he's been abusing it and doing all that nonsense for a couple of decades, then no. You're a man, you've done the same thing as those guys. It's just a different craft. What is he classed as, a comedian, or I don't know what he's classed as, Russell Brand? I don't know.
He's something. Anyway, what about you, Johnny? What do you think? Do you think it's different, the footballers and the... Because we're challenging old Lamshank over here. Go on.
Same accusation, isn't it? It's the same... He's forced himself. He's abused his power. They've said the arting in it. So it's no different. It's just that different professions, isn't it?
Totally.
One for two on sport. One's class as comedian, isn't it?
Totally. So Lamshank, what are you saying, Lamshank? Are you saying that we should have one rule for one and one rule for the other? Is that what you're saying, Lamshank? Let me know, please. Go on, Artie, go on.
No, and I totally agree. In terms of that, it's the same allegations that have been brought against kind of these guys, both those guys, you know, the R word, the coercive behaviour, the this, the that. It's the same, so you should be treated the same. And that's all we're trying to say on the show, isn't it? That whether you're Russell Brand or Mason Greenwood, if you do the thing, you've got to get treated exactly the same, innit? But there's so many inconsistencies. That's why you're getting cheesed off about it. No, I think you've got to be treated 100% the same, mate. It doesn't matter whatever you're doing. Like, you could be an astronaut, mate. You could be an astronaut, and you know what I mean. And Joe blogs off the road, and if you commit the same crime, surely you should be treated the same way, you know.
But the way I look at it as well, what's the difference between his situation and Mendy's situation? They were both it was both accusations that, you know, the one that is, to me, remove the Greenwood one. When you look at Mendy and the good old RB, it's exactly the same. It's a countless amount of women made accusations, but Mendy was thrown behind the door, and this guy's just out.
Still out, yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
He was
out, so.
he was also. I mean, all right. The girl was what, 15? The girl was 16, right? Sorry, she was 16, innit? I don't know if I don't think Mendy or the other guy, they were adults, right? Because I mean, I know it's legal still, but I mean, really, 16? What's really a 16-year-old really gonna do for you as a 30-year-old person? Do you know what I mean? No.
Yeah.
And you're still technically in school them age there, so you have to look at this guy like he's with a schoolgirl, bruv.
No. I get you, Lamshank. I'm not talking about you, Lamshank. I know you're talking 15 years. No, but the girl was saying, like, in comparison, I think he was the only one. RB was the only one that had a underage girl, quote unquote, underage. Because I mean, 15, 16, right? 16 years. What are you really gonna do with a 16-year-old? Do you know what I mean? You're not gonna sit down and talk politics, are you?
You're still a child, because 16's when you're 15, 16's when you're in year 11, your last year of school. So what's he doing with a school youth?
Exactly. Nothing. He shouldn't be doing nothing, mate. Nothing at all.
You know, this country's messed up as well, because to me it shouldn't be 16, it should be 18. That to me, because 16 still, you're just leaving school, to me it should be 18, but this is where this country messed up. But
No, I agree with you, mate. I agree with you.
There's deeper issues in this country, man. They need to be looking at the age of consent and certain other things than the things they're looking at. But, you know, got it that age for a reason.
No, that's it.
And they know why they got it at that age for a reason, because you got these nasty men that would do these things, and like you said, 30 years old with a 16-year-old. What are you really doing with a madman?
Yeah, and then like you said, if you're 16, who's to say? Not saying he was, but 16, you go 15, just 1 year, you know what I mean? 14, not that much, you know what I mean? So that's where the water's really, really, but it's murky enough as it is for him, but then that's the super murky there. So, I believe he should have been, sadly, if the accusations are brought to him and the police have them and they're going to charge him, then he's got to go behind the door, bro, isn't it? And then if he's found innocent, he's found innocent. But if not, you know.
But it's what the CPS are going to come up with, innit? We know these things. If the CPS don't deem that it's going to court, it's not going to court, innit? If the CPS say, nah, we haven't got enough to bring it to court, then it's done.
Yeah, remember, only with the Mendy thing, because there was enough, you know, there was a few women, they were thinking like, oh, no, hold on, could be some kind of fucking, you know, they thought he was fucking just walking around raping women at random on sight, you understand? That's how they were talking it up. You understand? Like he was this serial rapist going on like that, you know, just because it was how many women jumping up now. But then you get all these other people. But look, anyway, they put them behind the door and they dealt with him from behind the door. Shouldn't this man get dealt with from behind the door? Yeah, that was that's more or less for old Lamshank out there. Should they get fucking dealt with behind the door? And then, you know, because let's say they were some serial rapists, then look, at least they stopped a few, right?
Exactly, and that's a good point you're making. That's a very good point you're making, mate, you know. And if you are innocent, sad as it is, hopefully you come out not too long behind the door. Obviously, Mendy spent, I think, 17, more than a year, I think. And fair enough, if you're proven innocent, maybe you should be given some form of compensation, whoever you are.
100%. Get reimbursed. If you lost of earnings and all that, you know, you just get your money back. Simple as. Nothing wrong with that. If you're innocent, straight. Go on, sir. Wrap it up.
So no, just kind of in terms of that, it was just my whole thing about it. And in terms of the thought process behind the human psyche. Why are we watching these shows? But I think it's a little bit of kind of, there's a moral intrigue to these stories, and hope to see a little bit of justice sometimes in things kind of come around and people do get their just kind of desserts in time if they've done something wrong. But also, like I said, I like sometimes watching things where people are proven innocent as well, and they didn't commit crimes, and they, like you said earlier on, you know, I mean, they get a few pennies, you know, I mean, for their time behind the door. Not that that's everything, but at least it's something. But yeah, sort of sadly with this whole kind of Saville thing, I will sit and watch this one, but I'll probably make this the last one I'm watching him, because I don't think there's any more to learn. I mean, they're saying in this new one, teacher, they're bringing in sort of all these witness statements and stuff kind of into it. It's supposed to be coming on soon in a couple of weeks, but they keep on putting it back. And the BBC also said, oh, even though it's aired on the BBC, it was produced by the ITV studios, you know what I mean? So they're still, even though they're airing it on their own channel, they're still trying to distance themselves a little bit from it, you know what I mean? But they can't distance themselves from that guy because he was the BBC, you know what I mean? So, yeah, no, man, have a look at it if that's the thing you want to have a look at again, and see if it brings anything new to light and stuff, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was just one I wanted to raise up about these guys and why kind of we watch them. I watch some of these in the true crime. I know my partner watches a lot of the true crime stuff as well. So, and then loads of people I talk to in work, they sort of watch these shows and engage in them. And it's just so many people from different backgrounds watch these shows. I'm just intrigued to why some of us watch them. But yeah.
All right. Let's stay there. No, let's stay there, because I did realize you didn't get no answer, Johnny. I remember you talk. I remember saying. I remember me and you having a chat about that and watching the Jeffrey Dahmer thing, innit? What did you I know it was a strange one, that Dahmer. It was a bit of a strange geezer. A little bit like Tim Westwood, wasn't he, innit? A little bit of Tim Westwoody, wasn't he? Because he picked the people that nobody really cared about, and they didn't care, did they?
No.
Do you watch stuff like that, old Johnny? And why?
I watch it because I'm just intrigued, innit? Like, it's like I like to know what makes these people tick, innit? So the Jeffrey Dahmer thing, I wasn't gonna watch at first, but where everyone just kept saying, "Yo, just at least watch one episode," and it's like I watched one episode, then I watched 2 episodes, and I was like, it's like I wanted to turn off, but I was like, what makes this man tick? Because you don't wake up one day and you're just tapped like that. Something's had to happen where you're doing these type of things. So I watch it because obviously it's controversy, and they say controversy sells, innit? And it's like, I just like knowing what makes these people tick. It's like, even when I was behind the door, I wanted certain people that were in for certain things, obviously not the nonce thing, but it's like certain people that were in there for murders or certain things. I'd like to know, or like even people that would do fraud, and I'd like to know what made them tick and their mind. So I just like to know what makes certain people tick and why they do certain things.
No, understand. Isn't there some kind of? All right, I know that's the obvious one that everyone says. Yeah, make them tick. What it is, but do you always get that out of it? I don't know. I don't think you always get that out of it. Isn't it something that we just like? We like a bit of the old danger. That's what I think it is. My personal opinion. I think we like a bit of danger. I like to watch a lot of horror movies, and because I like to always try and get that scary feeling. You understand? You want to get scared. I think I want to get. I like to get scared, but I don't really. You know, it's got to be a really good one, and you're always chasing that. Like drugs, isn't it? You're always chasing that to try and get that little extra high. No, that's what I think.
Yeah, but that's that's true. But in terms of some, I agree. There's kind of there's the intrigue and stuff as well. Obviously that's kind of makes them tick, but it's also kind of a little bit about, like I said earlier on, a bit like a moral classification. Like you think to yourself, you know what, geez, man, I think like I've got, you know, what I mean, I'm struggling sometimes with life or whatever you think about, you know, and then you watch these, not to feel better about yourself. That's a bit naive to say that, but you watch and think, wow, how, like you said, how does this guy do these things? That thought process of whatever Jeffrey Dahmer done or these other Golden State killers, all the madnesses they done is like, you don't even speak about them. You think, how on earth, you know, and like us guys have, even like we said earlier on, what is really normal, but there's levels in it, and that's a level that they've gone to that has surpassed anything, but it still catches the nation, isn't it? I think this is a thing that is ongoing and growing now, these sort of true crimes. I mean, whenever I turn onto a channel now, there's like a true crime setting or some next thing going on, you know what I mean? But I think it's that moral intrigue and just to look at these things and say, wow, you guys are pretty fucked up, you know what I mean? And kind of stuff like that. But yeah, also that thing that obviously you said as well, teacher, the kind of thing about be a bit scared, so, oh, fucking hell, this guy's a weirdo, he's stalking outside how, you know what I mean? But it's got to be a good story or something that really captivates you, or else you're going to keep chasing that one.
I hear that. I hear all of that still.
Yeah, totally. There's big up listener. You saying you said the thing exactly that I was thinking. 16 and 17-year-old is fine, innit? But like 16 and 30-year-old is a bit, yeah, I mean, bit old on the dodgy side, innit? Bit on the old noncy side, innit? What do you say, guys? It's okay 100%. To be if you're young and you're dealing with a young person. That's all right, right?
Yeah, that's what you expect, innit?
Yeah, of course, because that's your age, that's your range, innit?
But like say 30, 16, you're almost double her age, you know what I mean?
It's like, what have you really got in common? Anyway.
Very little, isn't it? Like you said, very little.
Anyway, nice one. All right,
yes,
Johnny.
Yes.
Johnny, old chap, you want to jump in, sir?
Oh, yeah. Mine is about a footballer called Jadon Sancho. Right now, he's being, to me, being a scapegoat at Man United by Manchester United manager, Eric Ten Hag. Basically, something came out 2 weeks ago yesterday when Arsenal beat Man United 3-1. And then after the game, journalists asked the Man United manager why wasn't Jadon Sancho playing, and the manager come out and said he'll play when he trains better. He's not training good at the moment. I just found it pretty weird how the manager would just come out with something like that. Then about, I think like an hour or something after when the manager made them comments, the player went on social media and put a post basically saying, it's rubbish what he's talking about. He's using me as a scapegoat. Don't believe him. Don't get me. He's talking rubbish and that. And I just found it pretty weird how, to me, one, the manager shouldn't come out and he shouldn't have come out. He should have just said to them, it's personal reasons. Get me, rather than say what he said. And now, because you got the player respond, everyone's going against the player now and saying, oh, he shouldn't have responded. The manager's in the right for saying what he did if he's not training well. And I don't know. I just think it was wrong. And obviously, Sancho's had disciplinary issues before when he was 16 playing at Manchester City. He had problems with coming into training late, staying up all night playing Call of Duty. And then Man City sold him to Dortmund. Then he got fined at Dortmund for coming into training late and stuff like that. And then last year at Man United, he had some problems going on. So the Man United manager, Ten Hag, sent him to Holland to see a counsellor or something. So he's had a few things going on. But to me, he's just being left out to dry right now. And now, last week, he's been sent to train on his own. So I just wanted to know what you lot thought about the situation and if you thought manager was right in what he's doing and what he's done, or is the player in the wrong for responding to what the manager said? So I just want to know what you lot had to say about it.
Artie?
John, I agree with you, pal. I think he's been hung out to dry. Yes, he has had a few sort of disciplinary issues over the years, but like you touched upon earlier on, he's clearly had some sort of mental health issues possibly going on. So what does Ten Hag think he's going to achieve by sort of doing this to him now, making him train with the reserves? And the guy has had some issues possibly already. Is that going to improve his mental state? It's clearly not. You know what I mean? If you're training on your own. And I've not watched every game they've played, but I remember pre-season, he was playing really well in pre-season. So he couldn't have been training that poorly, because if you're in pre-season and you're performing pretty well, and that's only pre-season, but you've got to have a decent level of fitness to be playing quite well. And in some of the early matches in pre-season, he'd done well. So, yeah, I think Ten Hag's handled it appallingly. And even if he did have issues with his sort of disciplinary, like when stuff happens for other teams, they might say, you might hear randomly, so-and-so missed training, but it won't go into a big deal about it, it won't talk about his attitude, or they'll just leave it at that, or lock it off at that. But he's kind of elaborated on stuff, and yeah, he's totally hung the fella out to dry, but obviously Sancho's losing, but Ten Hag's losing because he's losing a very good player that he's not playing him, and eventually he's going to go for probably about a third of what they paid for him. So yeah, he's almost like he's blackballing his career in a certain aspect, you know what I mean?
Because I don't agree with the. Obviously, he said what he said. He's not training well, but now he sent him to train on his own, and he's demanding an apology. The manager, he come out last week and said he'll train with the first team again when I get an apology. It's like it's like, is he your bitch or something? Like what's the he's a footballer that. Get me, and it's like you're wanting him to do all of these things, but when other players have done stuff, you don't. That's what I'm saying. It's a different narrative to me. There's had to be a deeper issue that's happened between him and the manager, because I don't see him treating no one else like this. You get it? So it's to me, I just reckon it's unacceptable. But
is it like a dictatorship? Because it seems like the manager can say what he likes about players, but you can't say nothing about the manager. And isn't it? Where's the rule where you're supposed to keep things under wraps? You're not supposed to talk about these things. I remember back in the days, you'd tell the manager would talk. You'll ask a question about something inside what's going on in the club. The manager will say, a proper manager will say, "No, we're not talking about that. That's an inside business. Yeah, we'll deal with that inside." So, and then to me, there's nothing to defend. If you're going to sit there and talk about inside things, then you're clearly breaking that code. That the code is that they're saying that he broke by saying he shouldn't have spoke. None of them should have spoke, if anything, right? None of them should have said anything. You're not supposed to chat inside business outside. That's how it is in football, right?
Exactly, because I know other managers where you ask them questions after a match and they'll say it's personal issues, or they'll go around it. My man just blatantly just went for the neck and just went, he's not training well. When he trains better, he'll play. So you've already put the man on the naughty step in front of everyone. And to me, why shouldn't the player respond? If you didn't say, get me, you could have called him into your office, or they've had a discussion about it, innit? He should have told him, you're not training well, whatever the issue is. Remember, this is from last season as well, where they had an issue where my man said he's not training last season, so he sent him away and he was going with some mental issues ever. So it's been ongoing, but it's something the manager has to deal with and deal with things differently, because to me, it's like, is it bullying? Is he bullying the guy? Like, you're not putting him in the team. He's not training with the first team. Now you're telling him you want an apology. Why not do that behind closed doors? Say to him in a room, you and him in a room, or whatever representative, and say, I want an apology. Why put it out there?
No, I agree with you. I think obviously, like we said, he had he said he had some mental health issues. So by you training the guy and making him train on his own, is that constructive for someone who is believed to have some form of mental health issues anyway? Who knows what they are, you know what I mean? But by putting him out there on his own, that's not kind of beneficial for anyone. But I think I agree with Teach in times of he seems a little bit like of this sort of dictatorial guy that it's sort of his way or the highway. But then he's not like he said the old school boys would say, no, this is behind closed doors. There's nothing to talk about here, you know what I mean? And if they have an issue with someone, they'll discipline them accordingly or deal with the matter there. It's not going to be aired out in the public. So he clearly wanted that to go in the public. But long term, sure, I think it's going to backfire on him, and he'll be lucky in a couple of weeks if he still has a job the way he's going on. So I think he's taking his stress out on the wrong angle, you know what I mean? He should be looking to make his team play a bit better or make some improvements within that team, because I think Sancho might be at Man U a lot longer than Ten Hag, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think he's in the wrong for airing him out in public. I do agree with Teach as well that both of them should have just kept their mouth shut. But if he's openly coming out and criticising you, saying you're a bad trainer, and then from what I saw in the early pre-season, he was playing really well. He was getting some minutes. So he's gone from getting some minutes in pre-season to being a really bad trainer to training on your own, you know what I mean? So, and it's clearly going to snowball. I don't see much of a future there for him at the club. But then, yeah, like I said, I do feel for him a bit because he has been isolated there. But we'll see what happens in the future. But I don't see under Ten Hag he's going to have a future. But we'll see what happens to Ten Hag.
Because Ten Hag's got he's got form for this. I've seen a few things online where when he was at his previous club, Ajax, he'll have an argument with a player, and then I've seen it happen 2-3 times, and he'll call the player to warm up and come on as a sub, and the players don't get out of their seat, and he'll be like, okay, you don't want to play? Okay, fine. And their mic's up so you can hear what's going on. So Ten Hag's have players and the players side. Get me? I'm not coming on the player. And to me, I think he's done the same what done to Sancho. Like, he hangs them out to dry and then expects them to play ball afterwards. Come on. If you're in your line of work and you have a disagreement with your boss and your boss puts out to the whole work, I'm not letting him come back until when he apologizes. Nah, you've got to sit down in a room with your boss and be like, all right, cool. We had a disagreement, just apologize and we sweep it under the rug. You're not going to put it out to the whole of the world. Yeah, he needs to apologize. Come on, man. You don't.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, mate. I think that's a sign of him being possibly a little bit insecure. Because, yeah, it should have been dealt with a lot better. But, yeah, it's not going well for Jadon Sancho there kind of at the moment. I think he just needs to just do his thing there, train on his own, sadly do his thing, and either way he's going to get a move to another club or my man's going to get the sack anyway. But yeah, I think it's poor how he's been treated, man. I think this guy, like I said, got a bit of form for doing it. And he had a bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? He had a bit of credit last year, you know what I mean? Because he done really well with United to a point in his first year. But now it's not going so well this year. I think he doesn't have much credit, so he needs to watch his back because he won't be training on his own. He'll be managing nowhere, mate.
Oh, I hear that, man. I hear that.
But yeah, I think that's where that one's at. And I think hopefully he will, I'll say, either not start playing soon under Ten Hag, but if he gets the sack, he'll start playing soon, or just kind of try to force a move out on there. I don't know what his contract situation is, how long he has left, but yeah, he's probably still got a good couple of years left in it. I don't know when he signed for them.
Who, Sancho?
What year he signed for them?
I think he's got about 3 more years to run on that. I think he's got about 3 years. But
still a bit still.
Yeah, remember, he wanted to leave. And Ten Hag, in the transfer window, he wanted to leave. Ten Hag blocked the move. And then obviously now all this is coming out. It's like, come on, man. Like, it's all mad, isn't it? It's some control thing again, isn't it? You're telling the man he's not going nowhere, but you're not going to play him. So you're just leaving them to rot there, isn't it? It's crazy.
No, it's not a good look.
And it's going to be hard to get them wages off the book as well, because he's getting paid like, what, 325, 350 grand a week. So, and he cost them 72 million. So it's going to be hard to get him off the books. But I don't know about that situation. I just think Ten Hag's a bit of a control freak, isn't it? It's like Arteta as well, isn't it? And Pep, all these managers that, like, they're all control freaks, isn't it? They all want you to play to their tune. If you don't, you do what Arteta did to Aubameyang, Ozil, freeze them out. What? Get me? All these different managers, Pep's freezed out Yaya Toure, and so they just freeze them out, innit? And it's like, if you don't, like I said, they're the big cheese, innit?
Yep. If you disagree with him, mate, that's it.
I just reckon it's wrong still, but.
Oh no, I agree with you. With his situation, Jadon Sancho, I think he's been treated poorly, and but like we'll just kind of watch the space and see. It might backfire in the club, you know what I mean?
I reckon it will backfire, because until it's proven if he has done anything wrong, because apparently the players at Man United are backing Sancho and liking his post and basically, get me, was it Bruno? Who was it? Was it Bruno Fernandes or someone says no one trains better than Sancho, or he's the best trainer, or whatever. So it kind of makes, or was it Casemiro or one of them said Sancho trains the best? This is before all of this came out, so it's making you think.
Exactly.
Sorry. No, Casemiro said he was the most skillful.
Okay, skillful. Skillful.
Yeah, he said he was the most skillful, and everybody's been twisting it to say he's the best trainer.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, my bad. But to me, there's been a bust up somewhere, innit? There's been a disagreement, and the manager's just taken it out into the public rather than keep it behind closed doors. And it's what Artie said earlier on. The club ain't gonna take too kindly at this, and they if this guy survives till Christmas, I'll be surprised. This Ten Hag, because the results ain't coming. He's doing a lot of funny stuff. Like, he's brought all his mates over from Holland, like from Dutch football. He's just doing a lot of weird shit. But we'll see, man. We'll see.
It's a bit of a soap opera, isn't it, Man United, mate? It seems a bit of a soap opera at the moment, as it goes from one thing to the next, doesn't it? So, yeah. I'm sure there'll be something else breaking from there next week. It used to be about them being a good football team, you know what I mean? Not anymore.
Sancho never had no problems under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Like, remember, he came there when Ole, and it's like, there was no problems when Ole was there, but maybe Ole was a pushover. I don't know, man. Maybe, I don't know, innit? But we'll see, man.
Exactly. Wait and see what happens, innit? You never know. He might bring it back into the fold if they lose another game or so, you know what I mean? Try to be forced to, mate, save his job, innit? That'd be funny, innit? Sancho saves his job.
What I know about Ten Hag, he's a dominant person. So I don't think he'll bring him back into the team. I reckon.
Doesn't look like it.
I reckon he might let him train with the team, like after the next international break next month. But I don't think he's going to bring him. I don't think we're going to see Ten Hag manage and Jadon Sancho playing a Ten Hag team again. I don't see it.
Nah, it's very questionable. I tend to probably agree with you, mate. I think that could be the end for him at United, but hopefully he'll get a good move anyway somewhere else and he can reignite his career, because I do believe he's a talented player still, you know what I mean?
I hear that.
Yes, so any other news, Johnny, about football as we're on the topic?
Just the next two footballers. Funny enough, Mendy and Greenwood. There's been some controversy at the two clubs they're at. Greenwood came on as a sub for Getafe yesterday, and he had a shot. It went out for a corner, and Getafe scored from the corner and won the game 3-2. The Getafe fans, they applauded him when he came on, but apparently in Spain right now, they're questioning Getafe's decision to bring in Greenwood to the club, and apparently there's a small section of Getafe fans, what do you call it? They're demonstrating. Don't really want him at the club, but the manager at Getafe come out and said the guy's got, like, he didn't get convicted. He's a good footballer, so I'm gonna play him in it. So yeah. And then Mendy now, he's gone to a team in France called Lorient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got 2 goals there as well.
Yes, they've got a women's team, and their women's team have basically come out and said they don't think he should be playing at the club, but the man's been found not guilty. So it's the next thing, like what else can Mendy do? He got found not guilty of all the charges, and it's like still his name's being tarnished and dragged through the mud, and it's like he's 29 years old, and it's like, is he going to be forced to end his football career in Europe? Because everyone's just, they keep digging, and the man's been found not guilty. He's actually someone that went to trial. He was behind.
He bust case, isn't it?
Beat his case. Man City, let me his contract, whatever they terminated his contract or whatever, and he's like, the man's been found not guilty. So why not just? Why can't he get on with his life?
I'll tell you what. I remember after he won his case and he spoke out, and he didn't really speak much. After the verdict day, they get you to talk and stuff, and he was there with his solicitor, and he just basically said to his solicitor, "You need to crack on with the compensation claim." You know what I mean? You need to crack on with that, mate, because there has to be something forthcoming for him. You know what I mean? Because like you said, John, he's still playing out in France now. He's still getting a lot of crap for it. He was proven innocent. He won his case. And yet he's still getting crap, you know what I mean? So they have to be giving him some form of payment, mate. You know what I mean? Because it seems his career is just hard work now. He's even gone out there, and you know what I mean? Okay, so you know what they said, John? Yeah, they said that he's looking about 9-10 million off Man City. They said.
Yeah, because
back pay, innit? It's all back pay. He wants 9-10 million.
I was watching something yesterday, and they said yesterday was the first time he played for a first team appearance for 750 something days. Yeah, so when you check that, that's like just over 2 years that he was, he wasn't playing, no pay. He was getting accused, getting like dragged through the court system and going on them buses, G4S buses, and then Circle buses, and he went through a lot. I don't know what it's like to get them charges and go through that, and it's like he's been through a lot. He's been proved guilty, so just let the man live now, innit? Let him. Obviously, you'll never forget what happened to him, but just let the man live and get on with his life now, and let's move on to RB now, innit? It should be RB going through these things. You get it, Mark?
Yeah. Fingers crossed for him. He gets his few million. Who else was about weekend? So you boys got a good win then, John?
Yeah.
Should have been more, to be fair. Should have been a few more, mate. The goal should have stood that you guys had. You know what I mean?
The offside.
Yeah, that should have stood, I think, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what was the argument? Was he interfered? This is this old stuff again, isn't it?
Or did it come off the Everton player or some bollocks?
Then it's that come back off the Everton, brother, and then on to, I don't know. But that's what I felt what happened. But good win anyway against Everton. Not a good team, but always a bit sticky out there, isn't it? down at Goodison, you know what I mean? All the other usual suspects that have been playing well won, apart from Chelsea, 0-0. What happened to Chelsea, the first 0-0 of the season, isn't it, they said, against the mighty Bournemouth?
Is that the first one, is it?
I think, yeah, they said it was the first one in the Premier League this year, mate, was Bournemouth-Chelsea, mate. 0-0. So Chelsea's still scratching around after £1 billion. I know they got a bag of injuries, but still, they've got to be
12
beat.
They said they got 12 players out.
Yeah, but they still got another 20 odd, didn't they? You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? They should be beating Bournemouth. So, yeah, no, it's a good start to the Premier League, isn't it? You've got City still leading the pack, but you guys have done well, and your rivals are still up there. And who else is there? Liverpool, innit? And Brighton, obviously.
Beat Man United 3-1.
Yeah, they smacked him up. Brighton Munich, innit? They smacked him up, mate. He's going to be hard for them to keep hold of, isn't it? What's his name? De Zerbi. I think after this season, he's going to be a much wanted manager at all the bigger clubs. You know what I mean?
Teacher told me about this guy. I didn't know about him. As soon as he came to Brighton, teacher's like, "Yo, I did my knowledge on this guy. This guy's he's the truth, you know." But I didn't know about him.
Very good coach, Sassuolo, isn't it?
Like he looked like he's the truth for real, man.
Yeah, excellent coach, man. Excellent coach. So, I think, arguably this will be his last year at Brighton. I'll be surprised, you know, he's going to take Brighton for another year.
Maybe he goes to Man United.
Let's have one little fact about the other guy, the Tottenham manager guy. Yeah, who was there before Mourinho?
Was Nuno? Was it Nuno before Mourinho?
Nuno and Spiro.
Yeah. Nuno is when he went there, he got manager of the month, and then they sacked him.
Yeah. I see that.
So did let me have my fun, man. Let me have my fun.
Sure.
When Mourinho was there, manager of the month, they sacked him. This guy's just got manager of the month, didn't he?
Yeah.
They ain't gonna sack him though. But listen, saying that, they got lucky in that last match, innit? Them little last goals at the end. I thought they were done for, to be honest, in that match. I thought they were done. Maybe I was hoping more so. Yeah,
they come back. Although he did score a lot of late goals. I mean, they were really late goals. Really, really late. But, I mean, when he was our coach, that was one of the hallmarks of his team. They scored a lot of late goals, but not 110. Because I weren't watching the game, but I heard the score. I was like, right, you know, going to lose 1-0 to Sheffield. And, you know, when you think the game's done, 4-40, whatever. I turned back on like 20 minutes later. I see it's 2-1, bro. I say, how much injury time they're playing? But, yeah, this is this new directive, isn't it, now? They're playing how many minutes injury time now. So, yeah, it's another one, and it's going to be like 2-hour games now.
They couldn't be happy with just the VAR to cheat. Now they got to bring another cheat into the game, innit? Fucking bunch of cheaters, innit?
They should just use the the ref's kind of discretion. Like, what was wrong with a few minutes before? Like 12, I don't know how many minutes they played. That game was about, they said 112 minutes or something. You know what I mean? That's like a whole period of extra time, basically, on top of it.
I know they're saying it's about the time wasting, because I watched that match and Sheffield United were just non-stop time wasting. The goalie was just diving on.
Yeah, from the start they said he was on it.
They was time wasting from the start. So when they went 1-0 up, it got even worse, because now they've got something to defend now. They were just, so 12 minutes, I think. Why, that is a long time still. But, it's basically supposed to be like, they're basically showing the other teams, if you lot time waste, this is what's going to happen, innit? Because I think at the end of the Arsenal game, there was only 4 minutes added on at the end of the game. So,
your one yesterday,
there was only 4 minutes, so everyone was shocked, like, only 4 minutes, but
well, you lot controlled it anyway, innit? You had the ball for like 70% nearly, or something, innit? So they to me, Everton, I think they might stay up just because there are 3 teams worse than them. But they're going to be in that battle, mate, unless this guy can get some goals from the guy. He looked all right, better up front, but he got no service at all. No service, bruv. He was getting no play, bruv. The midfield was overrun, innit?
But my man's got rid of the 2 guys that were service, innit? Iwobi and Damari Gray.
Yep, got rid of them, mate.
Both of them, and Damari Gray spoke out about Sean Dyche. So, you know what I mean? He's got rid of the creators and he's just left with strong midfielders and no, they haven't got no one that can create anything because I think they said that they only had one shot on target against Arsenal. So it's like
rubbish. Yeah, that'd be funny if he takes them down after he took Burnley down as well.
It wouldn't surprise me. And they was it their owner sold up to some American people, innit?
Yeah, they've been sold now. I did see a funny thing on I don't think Teach put it up, but somewhere else I saw it. They had a picture of Sam Allardyce in it with two phones, and he said, "I'm just waiting for the call from Old Trafford." You know what I mean? So get Big Sam back in the game, the only unbeaten England manager of all time. So, but yeah, no, he's shaping up pretty well, the Premier League boys, isn't it? I think it's all right. It's all going well. The top teams are still pretty much up there. Obviously, you thought Chelsea would have done a bit better so far, but they've been dead. But apart from that, big improvements from sort of Liverpool this year. You guys are still solid. And yeah, City's still leading the pack, innit? So I thought they were going to drop some points weekend, but they didn't, sadly. So.
Ooh, City.
Mm.
No, I was never working. Well, City do that, innit? They go 1-0 down and they just play their way into the game with me. They play it at their pace and. That new guy Doku scored 1 minute into the second half to make it 1-1. It's just West Ham were just putting off they're just putting off.
Yeah, that's it, man. I think anything else been happening in the world? What is happening in the other world of sports? Anything? No real boxing. You got Joe Joyce rematch next weekend, boys.
Oh, is it? Is it what, next week or this weekend?
I mean, so this weekend coming, 23rd coming. Yeah, so you got Saturday, Joe Joyce against Big Zhang again. Part
He's
2.
going to get punched up again.
Yeah, might get double punch up this time, you know what I mean? Who? Was you telling me, Teacher, there was another good part on the undercard?
And the Yard is on the undercard.
Yeah, that's
well
the one,
that thing.
One,
so, yeah, that even though, you know, not the greatest one around and always, you know what I mean? He's always bloody, he lets you down, you know, you think he's going to do something good and then he loses, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like a bully fighter, and he beats the shit guys and then
100%.
Fight the good guys.
Then get thump up. Or do all right, but yeah, they didn't get thump up in the end, didn't it? Yeah. Yeah, beat the trash and then, fight the good ones and then give a decent account, but eventually get punch up in it. But yeah, that'll be worth a watch, boys, this weekend. What else is coming up fight wise? Trying to think if there's another big one coming up. No, nothing really after that. Oh, there's the Canelo against Charlo. That's coming up shortly after that. I think that's the following week. There was the UFC at the weekend. I didn't see all of it. I did watch the main event of that Shevchenko. Did you see it, Teach?
What's that?
That the UFC at the weekend with the
rematch.
rematch.
No, I haven't seen it yet. I ain't seen it yet.
Okay, watch
the rematch. Busy. I had a busy weekend. Do you know what I mean?
Completely understand, man, and well deserved, my friend. Well deserved. Well deserved.
Well, what do you mean, well deserved? I just stayed at home. I didn't do that. What are you trying to say? Trying to say?
Would it be me to try and, no, it's all good, man. But, yeah, that was about it, really. I didn't see anything else really sort of grab me out in the sports. Didn't see any major boxing or kind of stuff like that happening. Just the footy's been happening. And, yeah, got the Champions League tomorrow, guys. You guys playing tomorrow or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Okay. We're in action tomorrow, so we'll see how that one goes.
Who you lot playing?
Who you playing, mate? Who you losing to tomorrow, sir?
Easy, Tiger. We're away to Feyenoord, so yeah.
Ooh, tough match there, Feyenoord.
Oh,
tough one
tough,
there.
Man. I don't expect to win, man, honestly. With the players we've got out injured still, even with them fit, it would be very tough. But with the guys out injured, our sort of first string, centre-back pairings out. The guys, even the second string's out. So this is like the 5th and 6th choice centre-back coming in. So, yeah, I'm not that optimistic.
You guys are like Chelsea, innit? You're going through what Chelsea's going through, innit?
Yeah, just a few, man, and they will come back, but it's not for a month or so. You know what I mean? We've got other players that have come into the team recently. They're not doing too bad, but yeah, Feyenoord looked pretty tasty. I saw they won. What did they win at the weekend? And that's only in the Dutch league. They won 6-1. So I think they're third or fourth, but they're a good team. They're the reigning Dutch champions in it. So their coach is what's his name? The guy that turned down Tottenham, Arne Slot.
Okay.
He turned down Tottenham before Ange, innit? Remember, he was offered the job, and there was all saying he was gonna take it, but then he didn't take it. It didn't suit him, so he stayed on at Feyenoord for another year. So yeah, we're in action tomorrow. So that's back in the game. See how that goes, and yeah, roll on into next week and get this week done, innit? Because it's going to be a moody week of weather, chap. Sadly, a bit of rain coming in, but we are coming into sort of October soon, so.
Anything else? Oh yeah, that's Formula One. There was Formula One.
Yeah, who won? That Sainz guy or something?
Yeah, Ferrari, Sainz, yeah.
Oh, rare victory for someone else apart from...
Yeah, the first race.
Wow. Well, at least it's something a bit different. See a different car, you know what I mean, catching the number one still, but that's a wrap that season still, isn't it? It's finished now.
You can win it this week, because they just raced in Singapore. I think they're in Japan this weekend or something. So he can wrap it up this weekend if the results go his way, innit? But he wasn't too happy. He was swearing over the radio qualifying Max on Saturday because he qualified 11th or something.
Oh, well, that must have bruised his ego then, mate.
Yeah, he was swearing over the radio saying this shouldn't have happened, don't make this happen again, and then Horner's there like, oh, don't worry, Max, like, it won't happen again and shit like that. But yeah, it was good to see. It was good to see, because they're saying Red Bull's been on every podium. Obviously they've won every race, isn't it? So it's the first time since the last race of last season where they haven't been on the podium, so that was good to see stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, it makes a change for once, innit? That's it. A different face up there. But yeah, that's about it from the sporting world. I don't think anything else was going on. I didn't see that important. Yeah, that was it. I said look forward to that boxing this weekend anyway. That'll be a good one.
Good undercard as well, so yeah.
Yeah, it'll be something worthwhile watching.
Is there any women? Which women is there any good women on that undercard?
I don't know, I only really saw the Yard and there's a couple of other brothers fighting on there before. I didn't see any women on there at the moment.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. No one on there yet.
Anyway, right. 2 hours, 1 hour, 15 minutes. Let's done this. Big up the people and big up Lamshank.
Blessing Lamshank, yes, big
blessings
up.
Lamshank. Hopefully come back next on Sunday, Lamshank, and you can get involved. We'll try and go use a bit of topics that you like to talk about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big up everyone else who's in the chat. Yes.
Yeah, big up the regulars always.
Thank you guys and all that. And yeah, Lamshank, check out the other videos. We've got old videos on there. Check them out.
Yeah, have a look, man. Have a look at them.
I like that name, Lamshank, innit?
Yeah. Definitely Lamshank.
Anyway, right thereafter, man, we've got to go now.
After RB, mate. See you later.
All right. That's up.
Take care, guys.
Take
blessings,
it easy, guys.
blessings.
Bless up,
Sunday,
guys, yeah?
Sunday, 10 o'clock. You know the time, 10 p.m. Yeah. Blessings, guys.
Bless up.
No worries. Take care, guys. Have a good one.
Peace.
Laters.